friends, Sherry here. It's the third week in June and I still have not planted out a few of the beds that I said I wanted planted out that first week in June. And the main reason is I ended up buying a bunch of new green stalks. I put out those videos and so I went on and got those filled with a lot of the things that I had planned to put here. And that way it gave my strawberries more time to grow and ripen. So I'm gonna come down here now, do another harvest, and then what I'm going to do is probably have to thin out and move a lot of these strawberries. And I'm gonna propagate them in containers, and then I'll transplant them into a bunch of other raised beds, because there's really I really only have 3 beds that are growing these strawberries, and these have been very productive for me. So I'm going to start with the harvest. I'm going to do some, pulling out, thinning of this bed, and then I'm going to get some plants in here. This bed here, this double bed, will hold 20 and 20, 40 different plants, plus other things, but I'll be putting in tomatoes, probably mostly tomatoes in this area. And then this double bed here, I did actually get planted with tomato starts. Again, this has 40 tomato plants in it, and then a bunch of strawberries that are just kind of haphazardly growing. Some are growing very close to where the tomatoes are growing, and so those will be some that I'll probably pull out and propagate and spread into other beds. And I might even just set up 1 or 2 full just strawberry beds in another part of the garden, because I do have some extra metal raised beds that I can assemble and set up in places. So I'm so thrilled with this particular variety, which I still have to look back at my video to see what the name was. But I've gotten, I put in just a few plants here, and I have a lot of new plants, and I want to see if I can just keep these going and producing, and hopefully produce better and better every year. So anyway, most of what was left as fruit have ripened. So I'm going to get those, and then I'm going to get on with the next part of my garden chores. So there were just a few left over in this section. All right, so here are the ones from down here added to the bowl. So it's a good size. Again, I'm going to weigh it, because I am going to want to see what my total weight of strawberries this year has been. These white ones are fruiting also, but I'm not really harvesting these and weighing them. I'm just using them as snacking strawberries because they are tiny. They're tiny, but they're good and sweet. So I'm going to get this plant hosed off, and I'm going to go through and harvest what's ready and eat those. All right, friends, so we're finally out here to also get some more mulberries. I mentioned in the last harvest video that they were a lot ripened, and I want to do a couple things with them. So I want to get more than I typically get. So hubby's gonna get the ones up high. I'm gonna get the ones down low. All right, that was some good teamwork. We're gonna get these inside and get them cleaned up and weighed in. And we'll be back out here tomorrow because the tree is still loaded. So it has a lot of ripe berries, but more importantly, there are like so many that'll be ripening. I'll be coming out here every day this week, trying to collect as much as I can. All right, let's weigh these small berries. Oops, I dropped a couple. That's okay. So another pound. So this is the 3rd mulberry harvest. I'll have to add it all up. I'll put it on the screen what I've harvested so far. All right, friends, I'm about to plant out this bed. Since I added all those new red green stalks to the garden unexpectedly, my transplants that I had for this bed and another bed, you'll see, I ended up putting those in the green stalks, all those peppers. And so I went to a local store. They only do like a temporary nursery, garden nursery for annual plants, and they clearance them out starting the last week in June into July, and then they close down July 4th weekend. And so I got these plants for a little over $1 each. And these are varieties that I hadn't already started. So I got a bunch of those to fill in the bed. Actually, a couple of them I did start my own, like the California Winder, but they had 2 of those left, so I grabbed those. And they're 4-pack cell trays, and the 4-pack cell tray was like $1.24. So yeah, because I was gonna put in like leafy greens and stuff like that, but at this stage they'll probably bolt. And I'll mention this in my yearly recap, but I was really focused on growing specific things this summer to maximize my garden time. The leafy greens, I mean, I can grow them all year long indoors, and I'm also trying to work on my timing. And until my tomatoes are ready, I don't need a lot of leafy greens because I like to eat them together. But anyway, one of the plants that I got, actually 2 of them, already had bell peppers on them. Like, you know, I'm going to go ahead and take these off. And so it's kind of a cheater harvest, but it's mine. So I'm going to enjoy those. But these are way too big to have on these little plants. So I'm going to take these. And then I'm going to go over, I have some cherry tomatoes that are ready. So I'm going to get in here and get all the red cherry tomatoes. This is why I garden, y'all. I love me some homegrown tomatoes. All right, so I was leaving out and I saw this one sun-gold tomato had ripened too on this plant. So my plants will always, like, you know, they'll make some fruit kind of low. And I don't pull any of my fruit off because I know they'll ripen. My plants will still grow. I've never had anything get stunted because there were fruit on little plants. And it allows me to get early harvest. Now, of course, you have to have your nutrition right, good soil, all those things. I mean, if the plants don't have enough of what it needs to continue to produce, it won't. But, you know, get your soil good. And I have never had issues with plants, you know, bearing fruit when they're little. They just keep growing and they keep bearing fruit for me. All right, y'all, so I'm back out in the garden this evening. It's so swampy. I think it's like 94 degrees right now, almost 7:30. And I'm wrapping up dinner. I'm gonna use those green peppers and those 7 cherry tomatoes that I harvested earlier. I'm gonna use that with dinner, but I need some onions. So as I mentioned in a lot of my videos, that I harvest my onions throughout the season when I need them. And especially the ones that aren't going to be for storage, like these Walla Wallas. I use them even when they're small and kind of thin them out. And then the other ones will have, you know, space to get bigger. So I think I hit that area the last time. I've already kind of thinned those. So I'm going to deal with that later. This lily has gotten so huge this year. It's taking up almost the whole bed. And so I might go ahead and just pull the onions out of there a little early. Those are the bigger ones. Anyway, let's see. Is there one in here that I want to grab? Those are spaced pretty good, so we'll leave those alone. Maybe I'll grab a red onion. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get one in here. I don't want to cause any damage, but I want an onion. Let's grab this one here. So yeah, and I have one left from, I pulled one extra one the other day, and that's still good, so I'm gonna go ahead and just use these 3. So yeah, I'll use these 2 plus that one, and that'll get me some good fresh onion flavor in the dish. So let's get into the kitchen and cook.
I watch you as you drive. Do you know I'm looking? And I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on, I put my feet up, and we just sing along. And I can't help but feeling, just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? Forever. 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 I watch you as you sleep. You don't know I'm looking. With you everything's complete. Do you know how much I love you? I put your favorite song on, just to wake you up. When I dance around, I can't help but feeling, I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? Forever. 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 I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? Forever. 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 I watch you as you drive. Do you know I'm looking?